$5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Are you ready to take your law enforcement career to the next level? The Fayetteville Police Department is seeking motivated officers to join the elite K-9 unit. You must be released on solo patrol for at least 1 year. Lateral officers with relevant law enforcement experience may apply with an approved waiver. The ability to board a K-9 at your residence in accordance with OP 11-05. You must live within the approved take-home radius. Selection process includes home inspection by the K-9 sergeant, BLET, POPAT fitness assessment, and a written test covering K-9 policies. There is still time to host a National Night Out event in your community. Neighborhood groups and local organizations have until Sunday, July 26th to register an event with the Fayetteville Police Department. Registration information is available at fayetteville.nc.gov/NNO. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
With the front stalled across the region, we'll have a heightened chance to see some flooding today with multiple bands of heavy scattered showers and storms. Temperatures will stay cooler this afternoon and for our Friday. Then rain becomes more isolated during the first half of the weekend. Temperatures start in the mid-70s this morning with mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain and storms. Showers and storms are likely throughout the day today. Highs only reach the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
This edition of your local news and weather is brought to you by Fayetteville PWC.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robinson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
And good morning to you. The weather out there, I'm coming down the street and Fellowship Church. Well, what's the initial name of that fellowship? You know, the church down here.
Family Fellowship?
Yeah, Family Fellowship. Yeah, Family Fellowship has a marquee, and they had 80 degrees on there. I said, wow, it didn't feel like it was 80 when I was out watching the dogs this morning, but it's a good 80.
Yeah.
And but it's been hot. However, now comes the rain, and they say there's going to be a flood watch. I know for Wake County, I don't know if Cumberland County is going to fall in that or not, but seems like we go from one extreme to the next, but God is in control. He's in charge, so whatever.
I was about to say, I know he said I can't make these folks happy.
That's what God
3 weeks ago, he had a drought. Yeah,
For
can't
real.
water your lawn. Now give them some rain. Now they talking about that.
It's true. But them lawns, though, it's interesting. If you're not watering your lawn, it can look like it's dead. Rain, boom, turns right back. Everything is green. It looks real good. Producing this morning, we're going to have Miss Tammy Quick, and so she is the marquee producer, and she's in here. We have the mayor in this morning, and we're going to be chatting about some things he wants to talk about. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
I do well at this time.
Good.
And I would do well at this time. Attorney Alan Rogers, wherever you are, we're wishing you a happy birthday. I was telling the mayor that today is your birthday. I believe you turned 66 on today.
He's going to get you about putting him out there.
Right. I asked him, well, I mean, look, you ought to be glad you turned 66. Look, I want to stick around and turn 71 next month.
I feel you.
And so I asked him, I said, because look, I'm telling y'all, look, he's been disrespectful to old folk. We walked out, and he says, Pops. I was like, what the world? I said, now, I asked him, so, because he and Alan are friends, are you Pops? You going to call Alan Pops now, wherever Alan is?
Happy birthday, Brother Rogers.
Yeah, man. So I think he's going to the National Bar Association, so he'll be up there with that. And for those that are not familiar, the American Bar Association is, it's open to everybody, but that's primarily the white group. And when we couldn't attend the American Bar Association, then they created the National Bar Association.
That's interesting. The funeral directors did the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
The white one is called the NFDA, National Funeral Directors Association, and the black one is called the NFDMA, Funeral Directors and Morticians Association. So
right. So now, in defense of what black folk had to do, because some folk be out here, why do you all have this, there's this separating thing? Because we couldn't come to your meeting.
Had to, yeah.
So if we were going to coalesce and come together and share ideas and everything, we had to create our own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just like with HBCUs, people like, I don't understand. Why do you have to have those? Well, because y'all wouldn't let us go to school and the tax money that we were paying, you know what I mean? Because they were taking our taxes too for state in Carolina and Appalachian State and Western Carolina and all those. And y'all wouldn't let us go to those. Yeah. So we had to create our own thing.
Interesting. So I know you're going to get some interesting emails following this.
Look, they know I'm telling the truth. They're not going to bother me. I'm telling the truth. And that's not a racial statement as much as it is a statement of facts.
Right.
And the truth. But, I don't like to go overboard with stuff, though. I mean, I'm not blaming everything. You know what I mean? It's like Jasmine Crockett talking about the soccer league was racist or something. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with her.
Well, there was some statements made, I understand, by Argentina. And I was actually pulling for Argentina, so I didn't know that till after the fact. So I went.
What you mean, the team?
Yeah, the team, yeah.
Well,
I didn't see what she said.
There's some people that don't, if they know more about our history, because the African slave, more slaves went to the islands and to South America than came to North America.
Yeah, right.
North America. And so it's the same thing. They're our cousins now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the brother said, no matter where you come from.
Somebody should have told the Argentines that
so long as you a black man, you an African. so that's true now. That's reality too. So, but it's interesting because I have this Jamaican brother, and he said that when he came here in the 70s, so he was going to this church. He was I don't think it was a biracial church. I'm using the language white church, okay? That's what he said. And he said they were looking at him strange, man, what you doing in here, man? Like they didn't want him. Then he told him, well, I'm from Jamaica. Oh, come on in. Yeah, you aren't black. He was standing there thinking, I'm not black.
Right.
But then he didn't understand American politics.
Yeah.
That's and because I got African friends and friends from the island, and trust me, once our white friends find out they're not from the hood.
Of black America.
That's right. I mean, it's like, Come on in, brother. We love you.
Well, you know,
I can understand that.
We got to do better.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
We got to do better. We got quite a history here in this country for black-white relationships, for sure.
Well, you know, I do believe this, Mr. Mayor, is that all of us ought to try to promote racial peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend yesterday. Well, you know, what about slavery? I said, I understand that, but you know, I really agree with Morgan Freeman on this. Morgan Freeman was on one of those shows, 60 Minutes, something like that. They were asking, say, well, I forget the guy's name, but he was a well-known guy off of 60 Minutes. He said, what about Black History? He said, I don't think we'll have that much. He said, why not? He said, well, you're Jewish, aren't you? He said, yeah. Do you have a Jewish month? He said, no. He said, why not? He said, because I don't want one. He said, I don't want a Black History Month. So,
was his point that the other 11 months should also include it? I mean,
right, that's what I'm saying. So
okay.
Instead of separating that out,
yeah.
and there are some people that believe that so long as we hop on the racial issue, that we don't actually make it better, we make it worse.
Well, I look at it like this. Let's go back to the conversation you were having about why HBCUs exist.
Correct.
Why there are two associations in attorneys and in most other professional trades. You had to get a month out of the 12 months because the acknowledgement didn't exist, and so I'm sure when they came up with, because it started out as Black History Week, right? And then turned into Black History Month. And so was it Carter G. Woodson?
It was.
Yeah. So back when that came about, you know, it was out of a need. It grew out of a need that there was no acknowledgement, there was no appreciation.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that here's the problem. As we take a step forward, you know, because I think our kids and the kids behind them, I don't think they were coming up with that same bias, right? That you know, kind of carries over from, you know, my parents' age. My mom 80 plus, and she'll let me hear about telling her age a little later. But growing up as a child, she can remember witnessing the separation of water fountains and back of the bus and some of the things that happened that she actually experienced. So then, you know, her age generation tells it to my age growing up to say, hey, this happened, and so there's some biases created there. I don't know that had carried down to our kids and our kids, but now what you see going on today nationally, you know, there's a resurgence of that. This whole, you know, let's revert back to the past. Let's churn up all this old stuff. I think it will do us harm as a country later. Some of the stuff that we're doing on reversal of policy, and I don't mean you can go down that road, but we had made some progress, but now to see that eroded and to see us going in the opposite direction, you know, is a little disheartening. So I'm hoping that the policymakers understand the responsibility they have in all this, not just creating the policy that creates the whole system or the playbook that we play by, but the words that we say and the tone that we set. It trickles down. It really does, because people, you've got a huge pulpit, you've got a loud microphone. So the words that you say have impact, and it sets the tone. And so I'm hoping we be mindful of that.
Yeah, I think I would be in the same group with your mother. We're what it called baby boomers.
Yeah.
Baby boomers. And until I was 14, this was a segregated society for me too. So right. I didn't catch it as an adult, but right. I saw it. You know, 14 is, you know, you kind of understand what's going on,
yeah, right?
And so, the first 14 years of my life, that's what I experienced. You know, until I went to high school, which was a forced. The government forced them to switch over, and I was in that first class of freshmen that were forced to go to school.
Oh, after the integration of the school system.
Right, right. And so those of us that graduated in 73, I think that was you were born, right?
Yeah.
So
man, you make yourself sound old.
Anyway, whatever, brother. Look, I'm just glad to be here, okay?
Right.
So there was great hope.
Yeah.
Friends, they were going to traditional white schools, Carolina State and all that. Then, you know, they were in the group that I'm in now.
Yeah.
And there was this hope for us to move forward. But I do believe, though, Mr. Mayor, that politicians have used race to divide us. When I hear people say that we're doing worse than we've ever done, that's a lie. I know that's a lie because
you came from it.
Exactly. I lived that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there was no running water in the house and you had to use an outhouse, when you went to any restaurant and you couldn't sit down,
yeah.
When you couldn't go to a school, and you had a green book where you couldn't even
stay at certain places
and all that. That's what we came out of.
Right.
Telling young people now that we are doing worse than we ever did going all the way back to slavery is a lie. And it's some pretty responsible people that are saying that, and that is very troubling to me for them to try to promote that. Now, there was a Yale study, right, 2019, that they assessed white conservatives and white liberals as to who was the most racial. And oh man, the white liberals, we got them now. But it didn't turn out to be that way.
Yeah.
So what they did was, and I think Malcolm X talked about this, but he was right. The white conservatives, they have their ways, but they don't bother black folk. You see what I'm saying? It was the white liberals that were talking down to black people, changing their language and all that. And for those of you all that all you do is just type in Yale University study on race 2018-19, whatever it was, and it'll pop up. Read the whole thing. So a lot of these white folk have issues with us, but they don't claim to have issues with us. You see what I'm saying? And an argument could be made that what white liberals are doing was more damaging than white conservatives because it feeds into the stereotype that African Americans are dumber than white folk and they got to talk to us in a different way.
Well, boy, so much. So here's what I say to that. You said a lot, right, to unpacking that. I would say this, that Malcolm X, I think, used the comparison a fox and a wolf, right? The wolf, you know where he is.
Exactly.
Okay, and you know how to take him.
Hello.
The fox kind of is, he makes you think he's your friend, and then
exactly.
But the outcome is still the same,
right?
I think where you have with that, the problem that I have is oftentimes we, there on the liberal side of it, Democrat Party in particular, and I'm true blue Democrat, so I'm probably hear this, but what I say is that, a lot of times we let our causes get washed out trying to be the voice of everything. Right, and that's the part that I don't understand. Like you made black people the face of DEI when we were not the primary beneficiaries of it.
White females were. Right.
And in fact, we were last.
And
so
you go down the list,
to disabled, to veterans, to Asians, to Hispanics. We were last, but you're gonna make us the face to look like that all the gifts and the giveaways were ours because why? They give the flag to us to fight. I heard a speaker one time talk about their horizontal issues and their vertical issues. The vertical issue is that Troy is always, you were born black and you're going to die black and you're always going to be black. So your issues pertaining to that are pretty straightforward. It's up and down. Where you get caught at is where you start to then put your energy and time and become the face of horizontal issues, that we're going to fight for equality for everybody. We're going to fight for, non-discrimination in gender and race and in sexuality and disability and all of that. And so those issues get washed, right? And so we had not yet got our mask on first. If you've been on a plane, you understand they say you got to put your mask on first before you try to help others. Our business model from the civil rights era was effective. And to me, it's been hijacked to be the face of everything, right? And we've got so many issues that are unique to us. Yeah, we made a lot of progress, like you said. This is not like it was when you were a child. People, less than probably 2% of the people still have an outhouse, and technology has changed that. But the gap in between success and unsuccess, it still is heavier on the Black America side of the street than it is anybody else. And so there's still a disparity, a gap there. We're doing better as a whole, but I think the country is. We've moved technologically and economically forward. That it's not a industrial, farm-based economy that people make money, but there's still a huge gap between home ownership. There's a huge gap between income. There's a huge gap between lifespan, and some of those things that we haven't closed the gap on. And so I think we lose an opportunity when we say that. Every time I get an opportunity, when the folks in there talking to me about data centers, and you got, you're yelling at me that we don't need 50 jobs that pay $70,000. No, we need them, right? Because the unemployment rate is twice and almost 3 times what it is for everybody else. So I want you to address that first. To tell me that we've got the ability to turn down any jobs. But now it shouldn't be for the detriment of the bigger picture. But right now, people are trying to figure out how to put food on their table. AI is taking it's coming, it's here, and it's going to take jobs. So, yeah, we're going to need to retrain and retake any opportunity. So, I don't think we can take everybody's cause and everybody's fight. I think we lose our ability to communicate that. I've got to go to the NAACP this Sunday to talk to them about some of the things. And I don't want to be candid, right? that listen, there's a lot of problems that the National Association of Colored People,
right?
Okay, it's specific to that when it was founded in the 20s. Specific to what it has. There's a lot of issues, particularly with what we're seeing going on now, that you have. I don't know how some of the causes that I got a concern from you about are one of those, and so I want to talk through that a little bit.
Sure. Well, and I think that they go all the way, I think they go back a little further than the 20s, with...
1918, 19?
No, it was around closer to the turn of the century. You can do your own research.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Do your own research on that, because you misspeak, they're going to be on you.
Yeah. But let me clean that up. I'll be getting fact checked.
Right. Ben Jealous.
Yeah.
Is what got the NAACP.
1909.
Right, there we go. I thought it was. Okay. Ben Jealous was the person that got the NAACP off track. I don't know if you know him. You remember him?
I do. But I don't know.
But see, the history of the story, Ben Jealous had a gay brother. Mm-hmm. But gay biological brother. Mm-hmm. And so, the gay community, oh man, your brother's over like in the NAACP, hey, you need to go talk to him, and we need to add this to what y'all are about. Mm. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we got led down that road. And I'll be honest with you, at the time, I was close to finishing paying my life membership, but it just went so far off the grid for me, and really don't, because this is a personal issue. If you don't like it, then tough. Right. But I said, no, I ain't going no more. Keep the money that you have. Y'all just went too far off the map for me. Now, politically, I didn't understand what they were doing either, because it's just like, hey, look, we can't have both people come in and talk to us. We can only hear one side of something, which don't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How is it going to hurt for you to hear somebody else? We try to keep your members from hearing both sides of something. You know what I mean? I mean that don't add up for me. Right. But I'm saying is that, but that's how the NAACP got sidetracked in that, and now they're more into that, to me, than they are into what their original mission is.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, that the original reason why in 1909 when it was started was because there was a disparity that there needed to be advocacy for black people in America. It was in the height of Jim Crow, all of that stuff was going on. So fast forward, if you can check the box and say mission accomplished on that, I high five you. But if you can't leave what you were created to do and take on all this other stuff and do it well. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I'm saying because you're right, because they got their arms around everything. And what I tell people this all the time, I say, look, now the Southern Democrats, I give them credit. They were smart. They said, hey, look, y'all can pass all this stuff, but we're gonna make white women, our wives, a minority too.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? So look, just go out here to Fort Bragg and then look at those contracts.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see a bunch of white women. I'm not hating on them, just giving you facts.
Right.
They're gonna be inside of that. They are the biggest recipients of Small Business Administration 8A certification. That's 8 little a. Look that up. And now that came out of Richard Nixon's administration. But hey, look, it's a good thing. A lot of African Americans, Mr. Mayor, have moved forward and came out of poverty with that.
Yeah.
Maynard Jackson, he was smart. Down in Atlanta. You know, when they were building Hartford Airport.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you know, they said, well, you know, he said, look, we got to have more minority participation. And they said, well, we don't know no black folk that build airports.
Yeah.
And he said, but evidently he went home and God spoke to him. He said, hold it. He came back on the weekend. He said, but you know what? Them planes got to land on concrete.
Right.
And I know plenty of African Americans
that pour concrete.
Yeah. And for what I understand, historically, he created 20 millionaires just laying concrete for that airport.
Right.
And that was a federal project.
Right.
I'm just saying, so we need that kind of thinking.
Well, you know, here's the thing. We got intentional about that here, right? And had to get a local bill because you couldn't do it. You know, it was all this, and they went back and forth about that. And we finally did it. And what I don't think people realize is that economies are actually stronger when you do that, right? Because you're building a capacity for more concrete pours and to be more successful. Small businesses hire and employ more people than anybody.
Subs.
Yeah. And so I think what Maynard Jackson did in Atlanta changed the scope of how Atlanta became a hub for African American, for black business people. And today it's one of the most diverse economies. Washington, D.C., again, Mayor Barry, you know, had his issues, but he was intentional about making sure that happened. That's what's being attacked right now. It's saying that any application that you have or any dollars you get from the federal and then the state fell in line that have any set-asides or mention of race, you can't use federal or state dollars for it, which severely handicaps municipalities and local governments from being able to do it. Number one, it's against the law. In North Carolina, they passed a law that says if you do it or talk about it, but there are things that they say you can do to, you know, under-resourced, or I forgot what terminology is, but automatically all of our any grant applications
HUB is still here though. It's historically underutilized business.
But you saw they just defunded that. You talking on the state level?
No, I'm just saying. Well, I'm talking about the concept still.
Yeah.
But you see, but look, we're gonna go to a break. But see, like Fayetteville was different from when all that was going on.
Yeah.
Fayetteville was very different, even when they were using minority contracts. Fayetteville was not doing it. I mean, I did the research. I know this to be a fact.
Look, I've been in this uniqueness for 10 or 12 years, so I would love to hear you elaborate on that.
I mean, when Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, everybody was doing it. Right. We were not doing it.
We wasn't even tracking it.
That's what I'm talking about. We were not doing it. Anyway, look, going to a break, come back. We got the mayor in, and we're not fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? We're talking facts here. We'll be back for more following this.
With the front stalled across the region, we'll have a heightened chance to see some flooding today with multiple bands of heavy scattered showers and storms. Temperatures will stay cooler this afternoon and for our Friday. Then rain becomes more isolated during the first half of the weekend. Temperatures start in the mid-70s this morning with mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain and storms. Showers and storms are likely throughout the day today. Highs only reach the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
Front and a stationary front are bringing unstable weather to the state. Right now, there are flash flood warnings and watches in many areas of the state of North Carolina. Tropical storm Bertha is not expected to become more powerful as it moves its way across the Louisiana area toward Texas. North Carolina's Attorney General says a rate hike proposed by Duke Energy Carolinas is still too high. In a video, Jeff Jackson says that the 9.5% hike over 2 years still is above what the utility needs. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services discussed a recent increase in cyclosporus on Wednesday. Temperatures continue to run high in North Carolina. Health officials are warning about the impacts extreme heat can have on pregnancy. Mike Rayleigh, NCI News.
With the front stalled across the region, we'll have a heightened chance to see some flooding today with multiple bands of heavy scattered showers and storms. Temperatures will stay cooler this afternoon and for our Friday. Then rain becomes more isolated during the first half of the weekend. Temperatures start in the mid-70s this morning with mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain and storms. Showers and storms are likely throughout the day today. Highs only reach the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Are you ready to take your law enforcement career to the next level? The Fayetteville Police Department is seeking motivated officers to join the Elite K-9 unit. You must be released on solo patrol for at least 1 year. Lateral officers with relevant law enforcement experience may apply with an approved waiver. The ability to board a K-9 at your residence in accordance with OP 11-05. You must live within the approved take-home radius. Selection process includes home inspection by the K-9 sergeant, BLET, POPAT fitness assessment, and a written test covering K-9 policies. There is still time to host a National Night Out event in your community. Neighborhood groups and local organizations have until Sunday, July 26th to register an event with the Fayetteville Police Department. Registration information is available at fayetteville.nc.gov/NNO. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with temperatures in the mid-70s with mostly cloudy skies and scattered showers, and some storms are likely. Then throughout the day, we'll see more showers and storms. Temperatures reach the upper 70s to around 80. We'll have a heightened chance for flooding with multiple bands of heavy showers and storms. Then more rain is possible overnight with temperatures dropping to the mid-60s. We'll see more scattered rain and storms into Friday. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
At Fayetteville State University, you will do something you thought you could never do. And never say never again. With NC Promise $500 per semester tuition, dare to see where you can go. Check out all your options, including our new cybersecurity program. Because tomorrow just can't wait. Fayetteville State University. Anything really can happen. Are you in?
If you've been injured in an accident due to the negligence of others, you need an attorney, true and tried, that will ensure that you get the result that you deserve. Call attorneys Candace McKnight and Ariel Chapman at the Rogers Building. Attorney McKnight and Attorney Chapman have years of experience with positive results. Call them at 910-433-0833 at the Rogers Building, 111 Purchase Street.
With the front stalled across the region, we'll have a heightened chance to see some flooding today with multiple bands of heavy scattered showers and storms. Temperatures will stay cooler this afternoon and for our Friday. Then rain becomes more isolated during the first half of the weekend. Temperatures start in the mid-70s this morning with mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain and storms. Showers and storms are likely throughout the day today. Highs only reach the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits, even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Planning a renovation, new deck, or even buying a fixer-upper? Before you start swinging hammers or sign on the dotted line, check if a permit is required. Getting the right permits keeps your project safe, legal, and on track. Whether it's for home improvement or commercial upgrade, your permitting team is here to help. Visit fayetteville.nc.gov/permits or give us a call at 910-433-1707.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robeson, Hoke, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
And we're back now. I'm having a live discussion with the mayor. I may go to like him after this. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure your inbox and my inbox will be pretty spicy.
Now, but look, guys, on a serious note, even though we disagree with policy issues sometimes, most of us, I believe that if we sit down and talk, generally speaking, we have more things in common than we don't have in common.
Right.
And we care about people. So our discussion was about what Fayetteville was doing. And because I know it's true, like we said, look, guys, all the metros in North Carolina, the major metros, had a situation where they were dealing with African Americans specifically to try to raise them up and do business with them. And there was one city that won't doing it, and that's the one down there on Hay Street. That's just the facts.
Yep. And to go a step further with that, what was unique of when it came out that you wasn't tracking it or taking extra effort toward it. The procurement all of a sudden was given, or the process of doing the bids was given to PwC, which didn't have the same rule compliances as a local government. At the time, it was kind of its own creation. So. But that's what we've dealt with. But I'll say this too, Troy. John Hope Bryant, a very smart guy. I listen to him online a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but what he said was that 100 years ago, I guess a little more than 100 years ago, Mississippi had one of the best economies in the world, right? Back during the cotton era. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fast forward today, it's one of the poorest, right? And they've kept diversity at bay. They have had historically some of the last to come along. Is it possible that there's a connection between Fayetteville's resistance to be inclusive economically to being the only city out of the major ones that's tier 1, that's lagging behind in a number of things? I'm sure that's not the primary cause, but what he discovered, and there's a study somewhere, and I got to get which institution did it, but it showed that economies are stronger that are more inclusive. They just perform better. And so we talked about the Atlantas. Atlanta's one of the best economies in the Southeast, if not this part of the country, but it's very diverse. So I think we've got to understand that that's the strength to these, and not necessarily you're not getting any further by holding people out of it, because you include more, the rising tide really lifts all boats. So we fought that fight for the last forever. It's like an onion that you unpeel every time you get to one area, and we've done a lot better here. I think I'm proud of the progress we've made, but haven't kept pace with some of the areas that we see are very prosperous.
Sure, and I would say to someone, look, now I'm not being anti-white here, because actually what I don't agree with, maybe you do, I don't know, I don't agree that because I'm black, you're going to give me preferential treatment. Look, in my career, in everything I've done, I felt like, hey, look, white guy, white female, whatever, you come in front of me, just don't cheat with me. Right. Give me the fair opportunity to compete against that individual, and don't cheat. I don't need no special privileges. Because some people, he got that job. They must have just given it to him because he's black. Yeah. You see, I'm very offended by that kind of thinking.
Right.
Because a lot of people are places, and they had to fight very hard to get to those places. And now you're going to say, oh, it's a DEI hire, or, they're black or whatever, da-da-da-da. But then it was affirmative action. That was the word that they used. It was an affirmative action. No. And some of them are now.
Yeah.
Some of them are. Sometimes they are. And I've experienced that in my career, where it's that black women have been promoted over me, and clearly it was about just promoting a female.
I am not touching that.
I'm saying, but I'm telling you. But I'm saying I'm old enough to have experienced that. I'm just what I'm saying.
But let me say this. I think black women got to work twice as hard. They got to do it better. I think that when they are put in a position because of a DEI hire, they set them up. They set up for failure. Oftentimes, it's a struggling corporation or it's a institution that has financial problems. If you look at all of these cleanup situations, a lot of times they'll put a black female over that, so it's a lose-lose for her. And they've been impacted more by the change of this policy than anybody. What I will say though, I'm with you. I don't need any extra points, but don't take any points away.
That's all my thing.
Just let's start at even keel, because it actually makes you stronger, when you have to grow up in an environment that you've got to work harder, you've got to produce better, and I tell my kids that all the time, that unfortunately, just the way that it is, nobody can argue this point that America's system is not set up to where you're black, you start with any kind of advantage. That's why it's ridiculous to me to say that we've got to do all this reversal because you start with an advantage. That's nonsense. But what I will say is that you've got some very qualified people. I mean, to me, you look at some of the people in the positions that are now, and some of the ones they said were DEI hires, look at the resume of them, look at the performance of them. You can tell it was not a DEI thing with a lot of them. And then, of course, just like with anything, you got some unqualified people. But I think as a whole, from a policy standpoint, the more inclusive you are, have your criteria, set the gold standard, but be inclusive, because I think you're boxing talent out. You're boxing out creativity. And that's what innovation has led America to be at the successful point that it is. And I think you do that by bringing a lot of different perspectives.
Well, I mean, it's I think it was maybe it's 60s or 70s, whatever. USC was playing Alabama, right? And I think USC actually came to Alabama, and Brett Bryant was the coach. We're not going to have, George Washington, we're not going to have any Negroes down there, and they're not playing on our team. Forget that. Alabama now, Alabama forever. So them brothers came there and beat the brakes off of Alabama. And it was in national news. It was in the national newspapers and everything. And we said, well, what was that just went by?
Come on, them blacks that you didn't want.
When them black guys.
I saw that.
But it's true stuff. So look, guess what? They changed. You know what I mean? And I remember when black quarterbacks, the black guys just aren't intelligent enough to do this job. You need a thinking man doing that job. So, you had to have the white guy had to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
And so here it is. Even at E. Smith, trying to think of his name now because he went to Michigan State.
Running back, Junior Smith?
No. That was before that time.
Oh.
He was a quarterback for E. Smith, and none of the white schools around here would take him. And Coach Walker, I guess his connection, he got him at Michigan State, and boy, he was a bad boy. Come on, man, you're a E. Smith alum. This Hall of Famer, you ought to know that.
You talk about you graduated when I was born, so something I got to see where we start in this conversation.
But you're supposed to know this stuff.
I remember the ones when I was there.
No. Come on, somebody help me out.
I had a lot of my classmates went to Michigan State, so Michigan State's relationship,
it started probably with him.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I'm saying? But
probably did.
Anyway, he was a quarterback there. Carolina, nobody else would accept him as being a quarterback. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, man, this guy was phenomenal. I mean, they beat the brakes off of Notre Dame, one of those games. USC, high-level thing. I'm just saying is that even sports, they had to grow a brain. Now, you got all these African-American quarterbacks because it's about winning and we got to let this other stuff go.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, we got to let that go.
Yeah.
And if we're going to win as a community, has to be the same thing. Now look now, because y'all got these friends, y'all ride around with them and everything else. It need to be a situation where y'all having some serious conversations with them now, Mr. Mayor. Because I don't want this to happen, because I don't know what goes on.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was working for Mr. McAllister, and I was her legislative session, assistant for a while, too. She came back to the office one day, she said, Troy, I asked this guy, because there was this white legislator that had a black constituency, and he was somewhere out west. She said, I asked him, how do you do that? And he said, well, Mary, it's like this, you know. I see him about once a year. I go to church there, and they don't never ask for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So look, I just don't want that to be going on.
Yeah.
When y'all got these people in these cars,
yeah,
and y'all riding them around and everything, they don't need to just be on the nice side of town.
Oh yeah.
You need to ride them through the hood and say, now be honest with us, Mr. Mayor.
Right.
You know, somebody need to be saying to them, look,
right,
we're tier 1.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to help us get out of tier 1 here? Not just, you know, that's the challenge I'm having, because now I don't know what conversations are going on. You see what I'm saying? Right. All I can look at are outcomes.
Right. Well, yeah, true. Right. And I think some of that conversations with them, I'm glad you perfect segue, right, to talk about the economic summit we had the other day, right, at City View sponsored at Fayetteville State. Okay. It was good. You had City, County, you had Department of Commerce, and you had Fayetteville State. You had all these partnerships that we have there. Out of that came some serious discussions, Troy, about the fact that what is different about Fayetteville with its huge military presence and Fort Bragg being an $8.3 billion a year institution, that Huntsville and Colorado Springs did with their opportunity, right? And then why do you have a community like Fort Worth, Texas, or some of the other ones who hadn't quite figured it out? And so what I looked at after that conversation was, you know, industry is based on the workforce and the degree holders you produce.
Correct.
Our top degrees are in education, criminal justice, social work, nurses aid, medical billing, all of those jobs, good jobs as a man, I'm not saying this in a disparaging way, are between $30,000 and $48,000 median. Okay. All right. That's what we're producing. It also said that the two biggest non-federal employers, and this didn't come out of that summit. This came out of me doing some research after the conversations we had. Two biggest non-federal employers are Cape Fear Valley and the school system. Okay, and so we're producing most of our degrees in those spaces. 30+% of those graduates go to work for Cape Fear or the Cumberland County Schools. So right off the top, you're now down to 60%. If you found an industry, and I don't know of one that follows school teachers or educators, or if you found an industry that follows social workers, or if you found an industry that follows criminal justice, or if you found an industry that follows medical billing, I could see it. But you don't really have that. What you have is those jobs are mainly absorbed into some form of government or service provider. And so we've got to elevate what it is that we're putting out. Now, the good thing about it is that Fayetteville Tech, it's a community college, but it has a NSA certification, which is unique, I understand, but we have not leveraged that. Fayetteville State has a cyber program, which, you know, we have not leveraged that because those jobs are six-figure jobs on average. And now you've got the medical school. So I think we've also had some internal work to do. We got very used to selling things to soldiers. Like if you look at everything here, you got a lot of corporate headquarters, and that money goes back to wherever Outback and Longhorn are based. So we take that money that the soldiers get and we sell things to them. We've got pawn shops, we've got rim shops, we've got all the stuff that follow that. We have not sold a lot of our goods and services to the organization, to the Army itself, or to the Department of Defense, and to get what Northern Virginia has and what some of these other places have. So some of that is our fault. Some of that is we've been short-sighted. We've been complacent because we know we've got an $8 billion cash throw off here, so we can sell houses, we can sell cars, we can do all that stuff and finance it, but we have not moved our community up. But I think the conversation has to be had. As good a job as our institutions are doing, we got to put some emphasis on getting some higher earners, graduates into the market, so that we can then go and say, hey, look at what we have here.
So now, we have a medical school here now.
Yes. And tonight, we welcome the first class.
Right. But, so I went to the ribbon cutting. Now, Mr. Mayor, you have a black town here.
Yeah.
That's just facts.
Okay.
Okay. And, but I was there, sir. And in this black town,
yeah,
it was probably 95% not us inside of that ribbon cutting.
Okay.
Because, nothing against our white brothers and sisters, but I'm saying it was a whole heap of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And none of us.
Right.
I'm just saying, make this stuff make sense. This is a medical school in our community.
Right.
Now, I know that's the relationship between Cape Fear and Methodist University. And Methodist is not an HBCU, but still, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, at the end of the day, we should have been in that room many times over. Yeah. And I'm just saying, we weren't represented, sir.
Yeah.
Not criticizing.
Right.
I know you're busy, you be gone, all stuff, but it won't know your council members were not in there. They were not in there.
Yeah.
And I saw some county commissioner folk, but they running for office, and I think they was in there clicking, taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying is that for an old guy like me, that's troubling. I'm like, because I'm sitting there looking at this one, but dang, where are we at in those kind of situations?
Right.
Because that ain't cost nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get your hors d'oeuvre
and go. Well, I can't speak to the ribbon cutting because I toured that a number of times. The class tonight.
Yeah,
tonight is a
right,
program tonight for the first class.
I think it's 64 of them, right?
Yes, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what that group looks like. And it's not about race, but welcoming them. And if we can retain 50 to 60% of them in our community, look at the income.
Oh, sure, you're right. You're right. It's not
of
about
that.
race.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't want us. I don't want my people to be left behind. Though.
Yeah, right.
I just when George W. Bush had that, because he's the one that started that thing in Texas. No child left behind. I don't want none of my cousins left behind.
That's right.
Instead, he starts something in Fayetteville. Do not leave your cousin behind.
Right.
So, come on, man. We need to really do some things differently here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just offering feedback. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a policymaker, but when I go to situations like that, and I don't see none of us there, I think that because this is what some people are thinking when you're not there. They think that you don't care.
Right, yeah.
See, it gives them an image that,
right. But they ain't concerned about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't care about this.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And because I seen it happen in classrooms. The teachers, they don't care about the kids that are not here. You don't know that she's working another job.
But you do have to think about, too. Now, I understand what you're saying on the policymaker side. But what we need to look at is how many of those higher-end medical professionals are actually black. I think it's about less than 4 or 5%. Our doctors, and even though we're black town.
Look, but that's nationwide.
Yeah,
because I did that.
Right.
My daughter's in medicine, but it's medicine for pets. But
3%?
That's just about 3%.
Yeah.
That's all it is, about 3%. And of course, veterinary medicine is the whitest profession in America. 99% of doctors of veterinary medicine are white.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting, bro?
What's that?
Because we talk a lot. I talked to her this morning. We talk every day. The only real complaint that she had to me about a racial incident, it happened in Florida. But it did not happen with a white person.
Really?
It was a Hispanic brother.
Wow.
She said he would come in there every morning. He would say, hey, Dr. So-and-so and Dr. So-and-so, and then call her by her first name.
Oh, yeah.
And he would continually do that, I wanted to get in my car and drive down and talk to him, but I didn't.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But I'm saying, I said, I want to encourage her. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying is that now, in that environment, that's what she experienced from a Latino brother, and I believe her.
Yeah.
And she didn't experience that racially.
And so how do you take that 1% and make it 5% and make it 10%? See, there was, I know we've got Cape Fear and Methodist now. There was a Meharry partnership with Fayetteville State at one time. So how do you grow that profession?
Meharry, right?
Meharry, yeah.
Because that's where Dr. Jesse Williams.
Yeah,
right. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. I just ask.
Come on, man. You put me somewhere between like 5 or 10 and 50. There's a middle ground. Of course, I know Dr. Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because I talked to him a day ago, and but this is what we have to do, bro. Look, gotta start early.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be out there at that medical school, and you just had an unction, and you in the 11th grade.
Yeah.
It don't happen there.
No.
I'm telling you, you got to start early. The math and them sciences, because your mom's a school teacher, you got to start around 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. If you're not on track and getting yourself straight with them STEM courses, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're building a pretty steep hill to climb if you don't take care of that stuff very early on. So you say, how do we do it? We got to go out there real early. Well, look. Just a couple of seconds left here, bro. I'd like to give the last comments to you.
Yeah, no, I think it was good conversation. We're coming back. We're gonna tackle this how it is that we do just that. Keep these partnerships going. Start this in the elementary school level. Starting our K through 12 has to be a big player in prepping these kids and letting them know that they can be these higher end professionals. I think our community college and our colleges and universities are doing a great job. And we've got to put more degrees in our space that earn the kind of money that we want to build and want to see here. And I think we just got to keep doing these kind of candid conversations. That Sunday I look forward to talking to the NAACP. I want to be real candid with them about we got a whole list of problems, and I'm open to what you have to say, and I'm hoping that. That you guys will stay focused and support the things that need to be supported. So look forward to it. And
I'll find out the name of that golden bull that went to Michigan State, and I send you the name of that. And you need to know stuff that's beyond.
Well, as long as it won't in the 60s and the 70s, I might
this was the 70s. This was the 70s.
Oh, how you expect me to know that?
Because you're supposed to read, sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, you're right. No, come back there.
All right. See you later, guys.